Hello, I'm Scott. Welcome to our Maya modeling tutorial series where we're making this table here. So far what we've done on the table is we've spawned in a cube. We've beveled off all of the edges here. We've then beveled the top and bottom edges. We've sorted out the n-gons that appeared from that. We've brought in a torus. We've edited the torus to meet our needs. So we've reduced the poly count on it right down so that it's only got 4 sections to it. We've then beveled the outside and inside corners on that torus, we've beveled the edging, and we've sorted out and rebuilt the geometry around here. And if I just put on isolate select here, we've deleted off the top faces from the torus that won't ever be seen in the model as well. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to remesh the geometry from the bottom of this table to the torus, and we're going to merge the two objects as well. Now, I've stated this in the previous videos in this series as well, but if you're ever wondering or need a little quick access to the hotkeys I'm using in these videos, the hotkeys for this and the previous barrel series on my channel are all in the description. So any hotkeys I use in a video are all listed in the description with the situations in which they're used, the buttons needed for them, and what they'll do for you. So jumping right in today, the first thing we're going to do to merge these both is we're going to use a selection box where we hold left click down and we drag a little box out so that it covers both objects. That's going to select them both for us. We're then going to go up to mesh here at the top, we're going to click on this and we're going to hit combine. So as long as we've got 2 meshes selected or more, combine is going to make them all into one object. So if we hit that, they're now one thing when we select it. So if we click on either or, it's going to bring them all into one thing. Now, that doesn't mean that they're joined in a geometric sense. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go over how to join up the geometry on this. Now, for this object, because it's a static object, it's never going to animate, it's not going to be moved or anything like that. We don't really need to join the geometry if we want to keep our poly count down, but I'm just going to show you how to do it anyway. So we're going to go holding right click down, we're going to hover over face, and we're just going to use poly paint to pick out all the faces on the bottom of this table. So to use that, we're going to hold the tab key, and it's going to turn our cursor into this little ring here, and if we hold left click down and just drag over these faces on the table, avoiding anything we don't want to select, it's just going to paint them all in. Now if we wanted to deselect anything, say we painted over this face here by mistake, similarly we just keep holding tab down, and if it's green when we go over it and click again, it'll deselect it. So now that we've got the faces we want to get rid of, we're just going to hit delete and remove those. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to edge by edge bridge some of the gaps here. So we're going to hold right click and go into edge, and we're going to start with our biggest edges first. So we're going to start with this top bevel edge on the torus underneath, and we're going to go to this far end on the table, and we're just going to hit bridge. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And we're just going to hit bridge again. We're going to do that on the big long sides here. I'm just going to use shift select to pick out the 2 edges and bridge, and then we're going to come around here and we're just going to use shift select again, just see where we're going there, and we're just going to bridge. So it's important that you don't accidentally click the inside of a higher up edge by mistake, so it will bridge between those points. Now we've got a bit of a problem here where we have 4 edges here but we only have 2 on the inside. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to join them to the nearest. So we're just going to do this, and now what we have here is 2 tries. So to fix these, we're going to double click one edge on the try, and that's going to select the whole perimeter for us. We're going to come up to mesh again, and we're going to use the fill hole tool to sort that. So we're just going to click fill hole, and that's going to fill that gap in for us. Let's do the same here. When we're using the fill hole tool, we really only want to use that on tries or on quads. So just to demonstrate, if I select this whole gap here, we have a 8-sided hole here. If I use fill hole on this, it just fills in that entire hole like so. So we don't really want that because it's a big n-gon, and it means going back in with the multi-cut tool, which is a bit more fiddly. It'll still work, but it's just more time consuming and it's a bit of a slower process than just quickly putting in bridges on the mesh and then using fill hole to seal up some of these gaps, like so. We're just going to come back around to these other sides and do the same over here. bridging, not fill hole. I'm getting ahead of myself. And now we'll use fill hole. And again, we're just going to hit fill hole, bridge, sorry, and then bridge again, and then fill hole on the tries. So what we've done now is, rather than these two be separate objects that are only combined through the combine function, the geometry is now linked on these. So if we go to edge, and if we select one of these edges and we hit W and we move it, it's moving both these edges together, which is exactly what we want. So I'm just going to hit Control Z and undo that. Beforehand, if I'd picked this edge and I'd moved this, it wouldn't have moved any of the edges on the table above because nothing's linking the two edges together yet. Now, we've still got this big hole in the middle here where the torus isn't joined. So we're just going to do the same again, where we're just going to bridge the inside edges on the torus together, and then it's a bit more fiddly, but we're just going to get all of these joined up like so, so that we don't have that big gap underneath. Now again, if this is a static object and you're not wanting to put your poly count high up if you don't need it to, combining meshes and just leaving them combined and deleting out unseen faces is a perfectly valid solution, and it's slightly more optimized than doing this, but I just wanted to show you anyway how to rebuild geometry on an object and then merge two objects together. Now that we've done that, the next step for us is to add in our legs. So we're going to use a new polycube for that, but we're going to cover that in the next video, and we're going to go over duplicating objects and making them equal distances apart throughout the mesh. So I will see you in the next video for adding in our legs and then getting them all set up nice and even. So thank you for watching.